Jaya Girivaradari, Jaya Gopijana Vallabha, Jaya Girivaradari, Jaya Girivaradari, Jaya Gopijana Vallabha, Jaya Girivaradari, Jaya Girivaradari, Jaya Yashodanandana, Jaya Brajajanaranjana, Jaya Yashodanandana, Jaya Brajajanaranjana, Jaya Yashodanandana, Jaya Brajajanaranjana, Jaya Yashodanandana, Jaya Brajajanaranjana, Jaya Yamuna Tiravanachari, Jaya Kunja Bihari, Jaya Kunja Bihari, Jaya Yamuna Tiravanachari, Jaya Kunja Bihari, Jaya Kunja Bihari, Jaya Yamuna Tiravanachari, Jaya Kunja Bihari, Jaya Kunja Bihari, Jaya Yamuna Tiravanachari, Jaya Kunja Bihari, Jaya Kunja Bihari, Jaya Radha Madhava, Jaya Kunja Bihari, Jaya Radha Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Jaya Radha Madhava Radha Madhava Radha Madhava Shri Radhe Jaya Radha Madan Mohan Radha Madan Mohan Radha Madan Mohan Shri Radhe Radha Madan Mohan Radha Madan Mohan Shri Jai Jaya Prabhupada 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 Jai Jaya Prabhupada 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 Jaya Jaya Prabhupada Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Om Jnanatimirandasya Gnanjana Shalakaya Chakshum Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namah Shri Chaitanya Manobishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadama Gyantadatika Sadatikam Hey Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gourangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sutta Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vanchakalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya Evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Pishtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swamini Namine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesa Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna. Thank you very much for coming on this Srimad Bhagavatam lecture and seeking your blessings, because I'm speaking in front of elevated Vaishnavas and very fallen but unfortunate soul to be here on Simhachalam Dham and be able to share some realizations and share some little knowledge maybe I got during the time living here and practicing this beautiful gift of Krishna consciousness. So we're reading today from Srimad Bhagavatam, 3rd Canto, chapter 22, the marriage of Kardama Muni and Devahuti. So please repeat after me. So nu Ganatva Nata Vyavasitam Mahisyam Duhitu Sputanam Tasmai Gunam Ganadhyaya Dadau Tulyam Praharshitam Sonu gyatva vyavasitam. Sonu gyatva vyavasitam. Sonu gyatva Mahya duhiti sputam. Mahishya duhiti sputam. Mahishya duhitu sputam. Duhitu sputam. Tasmai guna gandayayam. Tasmai guna gandayayam. Tasmai guna gandayayam. Dadautulyam praharshitam. Dadautulyam praharshitam. So, board before? Yeah, please. Sonu gyatva vyavasitam. Mahishya duhitu sputam. Tasmai guna gandayayam. Dadautulyam praharshitam. Sonu gyatva vyavasitam. Mahishya duhitu sputam. Tasmai gunaganadhyayam. Dadautulyam praharshitah. Sonu gyatva vyavasitam. Mahishya duhitu sputam. Tasmai gunaganadhyayam. Dadautulyam praharshitam. Ladies. Sanu gyatva vyavasitam. Mahishya duhitu sputam. Tasmai gunagandhayayam. Sa he Emperor Manu. Anu afterward. Ganatva having known. Vyavasitam the fixed decision. Mahisya of the queen. Duhitu of his daughter. Sputam clearly. Tasmai to him. Gunagana adhyayam who was endowed with a host of virtues. Dadau give away. Tulyam who was equal in good qualities. Praharshitaham extremely pleased. Translation by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki. After having unmistakably known the decision of the queen as well of that of Devahuti, the emperor most gladly gave his daughter to the sage, who was of virtue, was equal by hers. So we are reading the text 23 because there is no purport. Shatarupa Maharagni Pratibara Mahadanam Dampatyo Pratayat Pritya Bhushavasa Parichadam. Translation. Empress Shatarupa lovingly gave most valuable presents suitable for the occasion, such as jewelry, clothes, and household articles, in the dowry to the bride and bridegroom. Purported by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada. The custom of giving one's daughter in charity with a dowry is still current in India. The gifts are given accordingly to the position of the father of the bride. Pratibharan Mahadanman means the dowry which must be awarded by the bridegroom at the time of marriage. Here Mahadana means greatly valuable gifts befitting the dowry of an empress. The word Bhusha Vasa Prachidanam also appear here. Bhusha means ornaments, Vasa means clothing, a Parichadan means various household articles. All things befitting the marriage ceremony of Emperor's daughter were awarded to Kardama Muni, who was until now observing celibacy as a brahmachari. The bride, Devahuti, was very richly dressed with ornaments and clothing. In this way, Kardama Muni was married with full opulence to a qualified wife and was endowed with the necessary paraphernalia for household wife. Srimad Bhagavan ki. In the Vedic way of marriage, such a dowry is still given to the bridegroom by the father of the bride. Even if poverty strike India, there are marriages where hundreds and thousands of rupees are spent for dowry. The dowry system is not illegal, and some have tried to prove. The dowry is a gift given to a daughter by the father to show goodwill, and it is compulsory. In rare cases, where the father is completely unable to give a dowry, it is enjoined that he must at least give a fruit and a flower. As stated in Bhagavad Gita, God can also be pleased even by a fruit or flower. When there is financial inability and no question of accumulating a dowry by another means, one can give a fruit and flower for the satisfaction of the bridegroom. So the first once again, after having unmistakably known the decision of the queen as well as that of Devahuti, the emperor most gladly gave his daughter to the sage, whose host of virtues were equal by hers. Hare Krishna. So, welcome again to the class. So I'm very, very rarely giving Srimad Bhagavatam class, so I need all your blessings to not make some mistakes. So here is description of one, as we know, Srimad Bhagavatam is describing mostly the perfect situation with the perfect persons, as the Bhagavad Gita is a description of the perfect battlefield and the beginning of the battlefield. And the whole Mahabharata is really perfect stories of perfect kings. So that's where we have also in this chapter, we are reading about perfect marriage. So this is mostly interesting for most of the persons who would like to also get married. So he's shown somehow the proper way how to became a perfect person to be married, and also how to find the person who is also to be married. And today I will shortly speak about this topic, and then I will continue to the other topics about regarding of the perfect arrangement in also which are meant by Krishna himself in his situation of marriages. So he is giving also situation. So the Devahuti was somehow trained to be perfect daughter. So being trained, being qualified, being learned in all kind of skills. So for the ladies, especially living in a temple, this is a very suitable place to learn many different skills. For me, it was very also interesting when I joined. No, I didn't join. I went to the temple when I was 18. My parents gave me blessings to go first time after practicing at home Krishna consciousness to go to live in a temple. And I personally must say, because I was doing schools and all the thing, I was missing the skills of being also practically engaged in household, in cooking. So the temple in England was for me first time the occasion to learn things and to learn how to maintain space around me properly, how to deal with other people, how to respect adults, how to respect elders more, how to develop certain etiquette in life, and especially for the ladies is in temple can learn how to cook. So how to cook, how to clean after cooking, how to I can remember my first cake when I was doing. It was the whole kitchen was a mess, so to say. Now I need maybe 2 pots. So it's also the process of development, which so for the all persons, especially for the ladies, you use this time to learn the skills, sewing, to learn the skills of, because actually we are thinking that nowadays after finishing studying, after finishing schools, we have some knowledge, but this is actually particular knowledge which is going in the direction of job, but nobody is really learning us and teaching how to do household, because we're all the time in a school. We're all the time in a school. When our parents are doing the things, we already come home, everything is done, everything is cooked, everything is clean mostly, and we don't need to do anything. We then go to training or teaching or learning. So we miss that part of practical living with the mother and learning the skills of maintenance of home. And for the boys, especially, we can see the time of living in a temple is the very good time to study, very good time to have to learn celibacy, to learn control the senses, to be one day to be able to. It's running the family. It's very much about also tolerance, very much about accepting living with the persons who is next to us, accepting also children with their mistakes. This we can all learn in our ashram life, I think. Also learning how to maintain about himself, so to say. I think the boys who comes also young in Krishna consciousness, they need to learn how to wash their dishes, how to cook also basically things, how to, especially when once lady is sick, men need to take over everything. So. And it's very important to learn also the skills of completely be able to take care of yourself. And this is the one thing. And the second thing is learn as much as possible. Learn as much scripture as possible. Read as much as possible, because once you will not have so much time to read. Once you will be very engaged, and this knowledge which is pressed in you later will help you in many situations. So this is what also my husband is telling me. He likes to study. He still finds the time to study, but as much he have time before, he doesn't have now. Because later all this knowledge you have will help you to be able to be a proper grihasta, not to go into the depths, to know how much you really need for life. Yeah. This is also very, very interesting thing. In a temple we learn that we need actually so little to be able to kind of survive, to be able. So if we continue this principle and slowly bring a little more in our life, then Grihastha life can be actually very easy. We don't need all of the sudden houses and this and that, and so it's a step-by-step process, so to say, growing into the Grihastha ashram. And the very important thing is this. I remember also from one old lecture that the emperor gave very gladly his daughter to the sage, and that they have equal qualities. So what this means? We really need to also observe that, especially the ladies in searching of the husband, the qualities. It's not so important how this person really look or how this, but the importance are the qualities in the person. if we can see the good qualities in the person, that we can see that we can how to say, that we can live with this person, that we can share the same qualities and same values we have. So most of the people we are joining in the temple, they come from very different backgrounds. That doesn't mean that we are the same, and these backgrounds are also bringing some scaras with us. So some of us have certain, so to say, certain attraction to different kind of things. So we need to see what kind of qualities we develop and what kind of values we have, and at the same time also in ladies especially need to see that the men have qualities, and then it's also have a knowledge which can guide in life, so to say, that he's trustful, that he can guide the person, and especially the qualities. This is the most important. How the person behave with the adults, how he behave with the other people. Is he quarreling? Because the same things will continue later in a marriage. If we see the qualities the person have with the other person, the same qualities will later be very much present in the marriage life. Yeah. And now we have also the third point from the second verse, that so there should be, as we see in India, when there is also that the parents should be also in kind of happily agreeing with this process of marriage. In my case, I can maybe a little bit share with you that me and my husband have 14 years even. Range of, but my parents were somehow, by knowing my husband and by asking him to marry me, he was in that point convinced that he will marry me in that point, because he saw that there are appreciation from the parents also. So there is very nice that parents also should be involved, even if they're not Krishna consciousness, if they're not, so to say, if they are not, so to say, so spiritual, but the parents who grow us, they know us the best, so they know what is also good for us, and they should be pleased with the decision of the lady or of the couple who is coming together. So they should be, especially if they have contact with the future husband or the future daughter-in-law, they should have appreciation for that person. Not that we just married and we call them for marriage, we get together, we call them for marriage. It's not the proper way. Without the blessings of the older elders, without the blessings of the parents, it will not be successful. No matter if they're not Krishna conscious, they're still parents. Our body is still belonging partially to them. Even we surrender to the Lord, but we have still obligation to our parents to please them in a way that they feel pleased, especially with so to say, giving there, because father always feel, no matter how we are in a modern society, father always feel he gives his daughter away, or he gives his daughter away, or when the wife is coming in a man case, she is coming in a family. So there is always need to be mutual understanding. So don't make mistakes, don't criticize the parents because these things comes out in action. So what you think, what you speak, later will come in action. So try always to somehow to please them, give them prasadam, and be kind to your adults, because without their blessings, you will also not be happy. So it's like how. And also when the parents are happy with the decision of the future husband or future wife, they are ready also to give presents, to give their blessings, to help, because new oncoming in a marriage are actually we don't have much, especially in an ashram or living in an ashram. So we need suitable things which will help us to support our new grihastha ashram in a form of Lakshmi, in a form of so very, very important things. This is what we get. We need to immediately think, oh no, now I can go on holiday, spend things, or no, this is what we get on marriage. This Lakshmi, what we get, this is value for our future. Maybe immediately open some bank account, put this money on the side or something to make it safe that this is for you, for a future of you. So this is how you can responsibly and consciously think that, this is now the step toward something. Because as a grihasta, it's not anymore, so to say, free spirit life. You need to slowly build values. It is a part of life which you need to build the values that you can also later give these values and also give up these values. So we also go into this marriage was because in one point it's part of our nature that we are attached to dharma, artha, kama and moksha. So this process, but with the proper consciousness, these things will very smoothly develop. It very smoothly develop. But there is also a point to understand that getting into marriage means one person need to, so ideally will be the husband, need to maintain family, need to work, need to somehow find a way how to later also bring the children up and being responsible grihasta. So I wish you this from big heart, because it can be, grihasta ashram can be very, very nice ashram, also can be very, I will not say purifying, but it's very, very. If you're open to learn, it's very beautiful place to develop very nice Vaishnava qualities of tolerance. Of, I don't say I have them still, but the Lord showing me where I need to work, because another partner is like a mirror. And children are also your mirror. They can so easily bring your anger up. They can so easily show you how much still you want to really control and how much you still want to be like. So in these relationships we can learn how to find a way also to, maybe if we are right, to find a way how to make things smoothly, that actually our environment in a house is happy, and especially when Krishna is in the middle, everything is much, much easier. But how to put Krishna in the middle is also not easy. We forget it also in Krishna conscious, in Grihastha life, you forget sometimes, Krishna Radha are in the middle. Therefore, for us especially was the process of installing the deities very important. In one point when you see that you have stable home, stable relationships, stable sadhana. It's not always 100%, but it works. Then it's very good to introduce also the deity worship in a home, in the forms maybe, in the forms of somehow the form of the Lord which attracts your heart. This name of the form of the Lord which attracts the is called Ishta Deva. And many of you heard it, but Ishta Deva, this is the form which is most attractive to your heart. The Lord which you feel the most connected. The one form of the Lord which you feel that it can, in one point, it can really store your mind, your heart. That the stories about this Ishta Deva can also be something which can fulfill you. And now I want to turn to the point of Ishta Deva. So Ishta Deva in our Vaishnava tradition, very often Ishta Deva is Radha Krishna or Gaur-Nitai. So this is our goal. In one point somebody have direction more to the Jagannath, some are more to Gaur-Nitai, to Radha Krishna, but it's very important to find the form of the Lord which you can daily meditate. So worship of Ishta Deva and worship of the Lord at home, it doesn't stop on this. This is the whole day process, so to say. When you chant, you can think about about serving, because in our life what we need to do in our Vaishnava tradition is to develop this. We said what means develop the serving attitude. It means that when we have the form which we are of the Lord, which we want to worship, that we can constantly remember that my goal is actually in this life to already develop a spiritual body and to develop the point that I can in the mind already think about how it will be to serve my Ishta Deva in the spiritual world. So when we are chanting our rounds, when we are preparing for our puja, when we are doing daily activities, we can always trying to come back to remembrance about our beloved Lord. So this is actually how actually we can focus and try to avoid, so to say, that the mind goes everywhere, jumping like a monkey from this tree to that tree of desires, of wishes, of dreams. So when we have the worshipable Lord, the worshipable deity in our mind, then we can always bring the deity back, because mind, he needs practical engagement, he needs practical service. Therefore, there are so many books of Goswamis who are describing the stories of Lord Chaitanya, who are describing the stories of Radha Krishna, who are going into these details, who are going into their leelas. So our mind needs engagement in that sense. And later when we more and more with the worship the deity, or at least in the mind we worship the deity, we can also actually be more and more connected. So there is also very, very beautiful story of a Brahmana who even didn't have a deity, but he had Ishta Deva already in his heart. He developed his, so to say, attitude of loving service, and he was doing the whole mental puja in his mind already. He will wake up in the morning, maybe, so to say, bathe, and then he will sit and meditate, so to say, chant maybe, or sit and meditate, and he will sitting how he will wake up the Lord, he will offer him the sweets, he will cook, and so he was doing this for many, many years. And on one point, he was in his mind, he was cooking the sweet rice, and somehow he wanted to touch the sweet rice in his mind, and he burned his finger, and he woke up, burned his finger, and the Lord, on the spiritual Lord, started to laugh, and Srimati Radhika asked him, what's going on? Why are you laughing now? So to say, one of my devotees, made such a intense meditation that he was like able to even burn his finger. So don't think that your mind is actually your tool, and your mind is your Flugzeug, let's say, airplane to the spiritual world. So if your mind have this deep engagement and in stories of the Lord, and especially if you are trying to imagine how it will be if I can serve the Lord, and even trying to project some of the services we are reading to be maybe done by you or done by your Gurudev, and you are assisting your Gurudev, how it's done in our Prancharatra system, since we are always assisting our Gurudev in worshipping the Lord, then actually there is a new world opening for us who are practicing the Krishna consciousness. We have outside seva, which we're doing for the temple, which we're cleaning, but we have also internal service, which we are performing for our beloved Lord, Ishta Deva. So this Ishta Deva process of worshipping the Lord inside can start even today. And maybe it will expand next 10 years or how long that we really have a deity form. But actually the most important is this internal worship and internal service to the Lord, which we love, and with which we can develop this loving mood, and with which we can also fully absorb our mind, heart, senses, emotions, and that's the internal process of service, devotional service. So I would like to maybe stop here, and maybe you have some questions or some comments or some something you want to fill up. I will be happy to hear it from you, Vaishnavas. Yes.
Which is your Ishta Deva?
How to get to know? I think we should So there we have our beautiful book Chaitanya Charitamrita, which are actually showing the stories of the Chaitanya, and we have our beautiful book, the Krishna book, so to say, and then we can read it, and then we need to see where is our heart opening, in which direction, in which leelas are opening our heart, so to say. The most of us actually, the Rupa Goswami opened the path already, so to say. He opened the path of, we are Rupanugas, so we are following the steps of Rupa Goswami and all the acharyas. So actually he opened us already, Radha Krishna, but the Lord Chaitanya, it's not different also from the Lord Krishna. So the Radha and Krishna, let's say, combined form. So we need to go in that direction. It's not. We don't have so much actually choice. We have this direction, so to say. But there is also particular maybe form, particular name of the Lord. But more and more we need to go in this. We need to read the Leelas. There is the point when our heart will open. As well, when we are watching some movies, we get some emotion towards some persons in that movie. In the same way, if we don't read the Leelas, if we don't read the pastimes, we will not be able to comprehend. We will not be able to emotionally connect with this pastimes. So, and you need to go into that some directions of reading the pastimes. And then you will slowly start to develop more and more emotions. So this is how the things are actually done in our sampradaya, how things should go. Yeah. This is how I can maybe. Yes, Prabhu. Yeah. Yeah.
It's very. I like very much how you explain the quality. That is, we are focusing on the qualities and Bhagavatam giving a lot of perfect quality persons to follow them and try to reach that level. I like it very much. Thank you.
Oh, thank you. It's by your presence and mercy.
I like the request if you can say something about the transition between living in an ashram, in a temple like brahmachari, or ladies doing nice service for the temple, and then have an idea, okay, the marriage or the family life is the next step. So between that, there's a gap. Transition situation, which is not really always worked out properly. So in some moment, when brahmachari find him, oh, you should marry. Yes, what does it mean?
Yeah.
So can you say something about this
transition?
Some words, how we should learn that one also?
Okay, yeah, I can say a little bit about transition. So transition part of already finding the person, getting together. It's very often I saw also in the temple already people come together and then what now? So this is the what should we do now? Now it's like, shall we go out? Shall we go in? Shall we stay? Shall we go? Therefore, I'm always thinking that we should see that we should first see in what kind of environment we are. So if you're practically in this temple, we need to see, is this place able to support Grihastha ashram? So this we need to observe, and we need to see also another examples. And according to that direction, and according to this, so to say, environment, do we need the driving glasses? Do we need this? Do we need that? So first, what we need to collect before we go to a step of really, or one person is going to work, or we will completely rely on temple, or we will, which I don't agree it will manage. Maybe some temple can manage to develop grihastha, that the grihasthas can be maintained. But mostly we now need to see, okay, there is already some environment for, I will definitely, one person will need the knowledge to work. So you will need to see, okay, I will probably need to go to some courses to make some studying, or to make some driving license, or to, the good thing is that sometimes people already joining the ashram, they already finished their studying, they already have their occupation which they can work and maintain. And the second thing is for me very important to introduce the astrology to see actually what is really suitable for us. And the third thing is what kind of lifestyle we honestly, when we open to when we see with the partner, what kind of lifestyle we can live practically and we want to live. So this is also the to be somehow honest with ourselves. Maybe I will not be able. Maybe both of the future parents or grihastha will be able to give service to the temple full time. Maybe one want to do it more. Maybe so. It's very good to make this huge list of expectation and to see in which direction we need to go to practically be able to live together. So immediately going out and taking apartment, it's not very good idea because you immediately need to pay, you immediately need to buy things. So there is definitely to be some little gap of time to put all, let's say, all big brainstorming of desires, of possibilities, of things which are still missing, of things which can be done, to see with astrology, because we have our karma and we have our already things are prescribed. We need to see what is good for us. Even before, I think 5-6 years when we were living here, full time doing service, me and my husband, at one point we realized something is wrong. So something doesn't work properly because, we somehow managed to juggle family life and temple life. But then when you saw the astrology, then the thing is that show you, okay, this person need to do like this, and this person need to do like this. This is according to their nature, and this is more according to their nature. And also according to that, you need to see these practical things of maintaining, bringing Lakshmi to the Grihastha ashram. So there's how to practically take this gap. I always said, so the new couples should also have time to make this certain list to see if this temple is suitable for the things I have, my qualities, if I can. Because practically, for example, from this temple, if you once come in a relationship, you immediately need to think, okay, one person need to work. One person need to have a driving license. One person need to see how he will maintain the family. One person can be full time. So this is what, or one person can. So this is the thing which are, and I will say, let's take a half year break. In a half year, also emotions and this and that a little bit come together, and the picture can be a little bit put together. But after half year or maybe how many months need the persons being together, we already have a picture where to go, and if we be community, or if we will do some studying, or we will move to another place. But so I think many of these different options can be observed, and I will not say not to make an action to go immediately out and live together. It's not good. Also need a time to really to see how to make this practical life, consulting also others, consulting the people who we see as maybe as examples, or see that they have maybe successful marriage or life. And then this is what I can show you. There are so many different examples, but mostly how I perceived through the years is, if you have some 6 months or 7 months thinking about, and there is shown different ways and different possibilities, but getting into the Grihastha ashram, the person need to already know, I need to have some education, and I need to be able to somehow maintain my family, to have qualities. Otherwise, it will be very hard. It will be emotionally disaster. First, you will have emotional flowers, and then you will have emotional disasters. If you don't think about these practical things in life. So a little bit. Sanjay Prabhu, you have some question? Okay. Yes, Prabhu. Yeah.
Yesterday I was reading Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur quotes about Shuddha Bhakti. Shuddha Bhakti means pure Bhakti. When he says pure Bhakti comes when there is no more Jnana Mishra, Karma Mishra, Yoga Mishra, when there is no mixing of different material tendencies like karma, yoga, and speculative knowledge, Jnana Mishra also. So when personally I'm not yet on this Shuddha Bhakti. It takes some time. So when you see you are getting like 17 very soon, but you don't, it takes some time to attain this Shuddha Bhakti. So what should be my attitude? To be tolerant, patient, and to work more on myself, but or just to surrender to my nature.
I'm very unqualified to answer this question, but I can just try to repeat something I maybe heard from some advices from spiritual persons, because I'm very, compared to you, I'm very junior devotee. But I heard that, so we have this body which is we have three modes of nature, at one point we need to accept we will not get perfect in this body. No, we have these three modes of nature which is keeping us in some frames. We can get things a little better, we can get things in, so to say, we can get a little more cleaner, we can get a little more disciplines, but we are born with these qualities somehow, and we can fine-tune them, but on one point one person is staying the quality of three modes which are binding us. But there is the second point, so this is more internal life. So more going, I think, on one point, more going into this Lila Smaranam, because inside we can have a perfect body, perfect option to serve, perfect circumstances. So definitely Lila Smarana is the point of, by my mother also tell me, she's now in Vanaprastha mood, and she's doing deep bhajan. Yeah, she's going deep into bhajans, painting pictures of Leelas, going into deep bhajans, 5 hours a day sometimes, but really reading the scriptures of Goswamis, going into this Leela Smaranas, Prabodhananda Saraswati, all these internal connections with the Lord. Yeah, so this body, it's like it is, but internally we can become perfect, and internally became then the real spiritual and deep life, which is maybe beyond our imagination. This I can just compare, because I'm not so far and not far. I'm just complaining, but contemplating. But I can see from experience of my parents and other maybe Vaishnavas who are maybe 30 years practicing or more. On one point they made this turn. Okay, with this body and these qualities I have done what it is. It is. Now inside, it's my new life. It's my new body. It's my new perception. And this is coming with deep absorption. Yeah, this is all I can say from experience Vaishnavas than myself. Hare Krishna. Yeah, Vito Prabhu. Hare Krishna. Oh, thank you.
Nice information, and also I appreciate really much that you bring so much your own experience. That makes it really living, your lecture. Thank you. And I wanted to ask you regarding astrology, if you have experiences, how much the things that were predicted from an astrologer became true in your marriage with your partner or with yourself. How much we can really relate on those predictions, and how much or what you maybe know from
So the first things I will, because my husband studies astrology and he always speaks to me, so the ladies pick up a little bit of the knowledge. The first thing is about astrology, which I understood from there are so many different astrologies. And we need to find astrology which is in, as first line, need to be astrology which is in parampara. Like our spiritual knowledge we get from parampara of pure disciples, the same with astrology. We need to find Jyotish experts who are in parampara, who have parampara of teachers who are already, and when these teachers are teaching, and they're not, so many people are studying astrology. Maybe at least 3 persons or 2 persons in some temple or some astrologers or in congregations. But need to always consider if they have parampara system, if they have really a system, who is your teacher, and from this teacher, who is that teacher? Not that they are reading from 100 books and they're getting, because astrology is such a subtle knowledge, and there's very much need to be the way the who is showing you and who is teaching the person need to show who is actually give him the basis. We can hear they're Jyotish, but they are sometimes very completely different meanings, because there is also influence of Western astrology, very deep also influencing Jyotish nowadays. So we need to really go to the roots. So this is the first, to establish the principles of Jyotish Parampara. And then second thing is, so Jyotish is more or less showing first, showing to the planets and to different signs in the planets are showing, so to say, about our character, about our habits, about our future, about status with money. So there are different houses and things are. So there are certain predictions and certain signs with certain planets is making this and that. So Jyotish can very deeply show us who we are and what our tendencies are, what our expectations are. So and what can we gain in life? Yeah, what we can gain in life. So I'm quite sure that Jyotish can really show you. I can even just see some examples when I told my husband, Tara, have some itching for 2-3 days. Yes, he said, because now it's Rahu for 2-3 days something, in 3 days is coming Jupiter, she will get better. So it's really like this, she get better at one point. But it shows that it's long-term period, she will always have some little health problem with that. But I can just explain that it's good to see, and it's good to check with the Jyotish, so to say. We cannot keep 100% because there is also, so to say, Krishna also involved. But I had a very good experience with Jyotish when I found, because three Jyotish teachers had tell me the same in life, similar things. So I don't really need to worry, because I know that's my path, and I just follow the path which is the best for me. So if you have a certain path and certain thing, this is good guidance. Doesn't mean that there will be always some little streets here and there, but at least you have a path which you can follow and give you certain good direction, that you don't need to really ask yourself, what's my dharma? What should I do in life? It's really, the Jyotish in that sense can be really, or if you have this house or that house, this is the subtle thing, but you have your Jyotish is really showing your dharma, how will be your karma, how will be your artha. So this direction, so to say, and it's very good direction. But how life really goes, and how we will have always some surprises. So this is in that sense. Yes, Prabhu. Yeah.
Regarding Jyotish, our previous acharyas, when they're writing the books like Srila Rupa Goswami, Sanatana Goswami, they don't mention so much Jyotish inside their books.
Yeah, it's outside. Yeah. It's because it's outside stuff actually. Jyotish is connected to our outside.
I heard the class that we depend more on Krishna, and that Krishna can really help us to make our future bright. And if we depend on Krishna, okay. And then so there is also a danger that we depend more on Jyotish than Krishna, than we neglect the instruction of Krishna from the Bhagavad Gita and Srimad Bhagavatam. And Srila Prabhupada mentioned, okay, if it's going to rain, we take an umbrella, and then we have to see we can have some protection. But I think our dependence, according to the six Goswamis and Srila Prabhupada, we should depend more on develop our faith into Sadhu, Guru, and Shastra.
Yeah, definitely. That's definitely. But for Prabhupada was also in one point said that he will open 108 temples. So some things are already visible. But I think it's always outside, so to say, outside. So it's, for me, Jyotish, I think it's good direction. Good direction how to manage life to not get too much upside downs. Yeah, but yeah, definitely. Thank you very much for a comment. Okay, so it's 9 o'clock. Thank you very much. Granta Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Gaura Bhakta Vrinda ki jai.